Hope everyone's doing all right. I've been thinking this last Sunday we looked at John chapter 20 and we looked at John chapter 20 verses 19 through 28. We looked at Jesus appearing before the disciples and then appearing before Thomas. And we talked about, a lot of different things about that, but one of the interesting things in 30 there's this short 30 and 31, there's this short little passage that says, "Now Jesus did many other things in the presence of the disciples, which are not written in this book, but these things are written that you may believe that Jesus is the Christ, the Son of God, and that by believing you may have life in his name." Now, it's always fascinating because we read the Gospels and there's always lots of questions. I mean, especially when you think about Jesus' childhood, we don't know a whole bunch. Honestly, we don't know much of what he did between the ages of, I guess, really birth to when he began his ministry. And so there are a lot of holes there. But one of the things I started to think about is this idea that if we as followers of Jesus are living in that resurrection life that he offers, that part of the story of Jesus' work at the world, part of the story of what he's doing in the life of disciples, his disciples, we're his disciples. So we are part of that continued story. The idea that, he still does things in the presence and in the lives of his disciples, and we get to be a part of that. And so I just challenge you guys, especially as we're in this time where we have naturally many of us have more time to think about such things, to think about what is Jesus doing in your life right now? How is Jesus' story continuing in your life, in the life of your family, in the life of those around you? And do you recognize it? I just encourage you to think about that and share those things. Share what Jesus is doing in your life right now. Share the ways that you see God speaking to you. I know in my life right now, because of all the situation, what has been going on, I have been challenged to really think through how we do things and to be more flexible, um, and find new avenues like this avenue to communicate and find ways that we can connect as a church and rethink what does it mean for us to be the church. And it has been a challenge, but it's been very invigorating as well. And just the idea, let's keep things simple and, come back to Jesus, that Jesus is the subject of all we do. And Jesus is truly the subject of our life too, if we're his followers. And I just challenge you guys to think about that. What's Jesus doing in your life right now? Hope you're having a good day.